Hey everyone, welcome to week 7 of New York marathon training. So today's video is going to be all about focusing on the long run that I'll be doing this week. The plan is 18 miles and I'm going to show you from how I prep leading up to the long run itself. So it's Saturday afternoon right now. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm just sat down to have some lunch. So I'm just going to show you what I have, and then I'll show you what I have for dinner, and then in the morning, all stuff like that. So just all the way through, and then till post run as well, so you can get a real idea on how I prepare for my long run. So the light's not great. However, I've got salmon fillet, green beans, some mushrooms, poached egg on toast with some sriracha sauce. Not ketchup. That is quite a big lunch. However, I haven't eaten anything since like about 10 o'clock this morning. So park run was first thing and I had a bowl of porridge beforehand. Came back and made myself like a protein shake / smoothie. And I've been out shopping this afternoon, so now I'm just digging into lunch, and then just means that dinner now, this will take me all the way through till dinner, I should think. Recap on training this week. So Monday was the bank holiday Monday and I just got back from Reading Festival, so I didn't do any running. I just came back, chilled out, and went to go and watch James. He was doing a race which he's been doing all week, which is called the Tour of MK, and he did really well. So Tuesday then headed out for it was just a 45-minute easy run, but it was still boiling on Tuesday. I tried to get it done quite early, but I did enjoy that. That was again just a run with some podcasts and just getting the miles ticked off. Tuesday's run was not as good as what I'd had hoped. So it was an interval session. It was supposed to be 10 lots of kilometre reps at around 6:50-ish pace, and I went into that session feeling quite tired. I'd had an early start and I could just kind of feel that it might not have been great. So I did what I could. I did the best that I could, and I ended up doing 6 reps at around the target pace, which I was pleased with. Decided just to cut it short because I was just tired. Thursday was a rest day. Friday I did a 4-mile easy run, and then today park run was meant to be sort of like a park run steady / effort. There was like over 1,000 people at park run today. It was like a big green turnout. We'd organised for loads of like Redway runners to be there, so I wasn't sure how it's going to go on the start line. The first mile was a little bit slower just because there were so many people and congestion, but ended up being about 7:09 pace. And then sort of like it was quite good that I'd gone a bit easier. Well, I got stuck at the start because then it meant the next 2 miles were quite progressive, and I did like a 6:53, 6:45, and over the second half of the race run, park run is not a race, it's a run, I was overtaking people and feeling quite good. Started to struggle in the last little, like half a mile, but I kind of was pushing it. So happy with how training's gone so far. I think we're at like 24 miles so far up until now, and then the long run tomorrow. So let me dig into my lunch because otherwise it's going to get cold, and I'll catch up with you at dinner time, let you know what I'm having. This is dinner. So it doesn't really look that appetizing, but we've got some chicken for protein. This was a chicken breast that we'd cooked last night, so it was already done. Then for my carb sauces, I have some rice. These are just like the Tilda. This is tomato and basil flavour, I believe. So just 2 minutes in the microwave. Got some sweet corn and broccoli. And there we go. Good mix of proteins, carbs, micronutrients, and also put some butter, so I've got some fat on the sweet corn too. So there we are. Good dinner. Just getting into bed. Got my dressing gown on. I've got my kit all ready for the morning. I'm never normally this prepared like recently, but I've had some time today, so I've literally like laid everything out. I'll talk through in the morning like my kit and what I'm taking like nutrition wise. But I'm just in bed with a hot chocolate, and I can't grab my other hand, but I'm just a small bag of popcorn just as a sweet treat. It's not really a treat at all, I've just got a sweet tooth. So just I'm watching some TV, I'm doing a little bit of work. I know it's sad on a Saturday night, but I'm looking at my diary next week, it's really busy. So if I can get ahead of myself now and do some like menial little tasks, it just helps me for the week ahead. So just to talk through like dinner and what I've had, like normally, don't need to hold this up anymore, but normally on a Saturday night, normally like during the summer we're like out and doing stuff, but today's actually like one of the first Saturdays in a long while that I've been at home to sort my dinner out. So normally for me it is some form of like protein and carbohydrate source, like chicken and sweet potato or a pasta dish or something like that, and it just seems to work for me. And then porridge the first thing in the morning, which I'll show you. But you just need to find a combination that works for you. Like, everyone's different. I thrive off carbs on runs, and I really notice it if I like go lower carb at all. So that's just, I just found that that works best for me. Hopefully an early night will help prepare me a little bit more as well, because lack of sleep doesn't help either. But there we are, that's my prep. I'm feeling okay, ready for tomorrow. It's really weird, like you say 18 miles in the morning, like that's not too far actually off like the marathon distance, but like you just don't treat it as the same at all. Like 18 miles is a long way, but because I just, in my head it's like a Sunday run. I don't know why, I just always feel like I need to actually prepare myself that 18 miles is a long way. So hopefully all goes to plan. So yeah, I'm going to sign off for the evening, and I'll catch you all in the morning for breakfast. Morning, just woken up. I hear the kettle in the background for my coffee, and I'm just making my morning porridge. So I've got some porridge oats, and I've added some almond milk in there. Mix it all up, and it'll go in the microwave. Toppings are essential for porridge, so I've got some protein powder. I'll just put half a scoop in there. I've chopped up some banana, which I'll put in, and then we have some peanut butter and some jam. There we have it. I never normally decorate my banana like this, but for the purpose of YouTube, why not? Looking good. Last night I prepared everything, so I've got my vest, running stuff. It's already on the floor, ready to out for the club run. 6 miles in, having my first gel. Now, normal strategy for marathons would be 5, 10, 15 and 20. Because I'm not running at race pace, I'm just going to take 2 today, 1 at mile 6 and 1 at mile 12. I've got my water with me to top up. 16 miles into my run, I've just finished with a club run, and now I've just got the journey back home. I've got about 1.9 miles to go. Just an update, I've had all of my drink, I've had my 2 gels, and I'm now really starting to feel it in my glutes and my hips. And just now, this is just lack of like doing the long runs now, this is starting to hurt. But in terms of like fueling, everything's gone well. Probably could do with a little bit more water right now because it's a bit warmer, but the nutrition side of things has gone well. This is just clearly now lack of longer runs that's starting to settle in. But I'm going to turn my music on and just power through the last bit of the journey. And one thing, after being so organised yesterday, my watch is flicking up at me at low battery. I'm just hoping that it doesn't die before the time that I get home. Fingers crossed, but I'll update you when I'm back. There we have it. I am back home from my long run. And what a success, 18 miles, and I've not gone that far in quite a long time. Probably since my ultra, 1st of June, so quite a long time ago. So just to wrap up this video and just a bit more about nutrition. So obviously I'm not a nutritionist and I can't give out any expert advice, but this is just based on like the trial and error and things that I've been doing that work for me and that I know have worked for other people. Part of a massive running club, so you know, going and chatting to people all the time about what they do, what they use. Even this morning on the early lap, we were talking about different gels, and it's just all down to yourself. Like, there's someone next to me that was saying that they love the High Five gels. Personally, I don't like them at all. I find them a bit too watery. So it's just down to like taste and flavour. And I would just recommend, if you're looking into doing like using some gels, going to your local sports shop. Like for us, we have Up and Running in Milton Keynes, and they have like individual sachets, so like it's worth going just to pick up a couple of each like brand and different flavours and trialing them out on your runs. So big things with me is like nutrition the day before is just upping the carbohydrate intake slightly. You know, you have like the way to do it is just like making your snacks a bit more carbohydrate based. So like adding in some extra fruit and things like that, but just not going stupidly overboard with it. When it starts to get to the marathon, I like start loading a little bit more, like towards like the Thursday and Friday onwards, but just not too much. Then breakfast this morning, I didn't really say, but I should have. I had it only about an hour before I left. I'm not up for getting up like 3 hours before I go for my long run to get my breakfast in. I just find that it's okay for me. Now, a bit on the, I don't really know, like on the digestion, gut kind of side of things, I didn't go to the toilet before I left for the run this morning. And normally I would. So I was like 17.6 miles into my run. I had to come home quickly. I was literally like outside my door, and then I went back out to complete the last 0.4. I don't know whether I should be including this in this video, but it's just keeping it real and honest that maybe an hour before, if I can get to the toilet before, then I'm normally fine on my long runs. Like no problems, I just needed to use the toilet. So I came in and used the facilities before heading back out again. So people recommend sort of like 1 to 2 hours. Like if it's a race, I definitely eat like a couple of hours before I start. But when it's long runs, sometimes I find that just like if I've had a huge meal like quite late, because sometimes we go out for dinner and things on a Saturday night, so if I've eaten quite late, then I'm not normally that hungry in the morning, so sometimes I just stick to things like toast. I just find that it's quite quick and easy to do, and it doesn't feel as like, not as heavy, but just as like as much, just porridge feels a bit more like filling to me. So sometimes toast I just I have beforehand, but you know, again, it's just whatever works for you, like toast, bagels, cereal, porridge. You know, you just need those starchy carbs that are like slow releasing and that you're going to use throughout the run. Today I just took 2 gels, as I said in like the earlier clip. When I run the marathon, I take gels every 5, 10, 15 and 20 miles, and then try and have something like in that last couple of miles to give me a bit of a boost. However, today, because I was doing 18 and obviously at a slower pace, I just stuck to a gel at mile 6 and a gel at mile 12. Took out water, probably took about half a litre of water with me in my 2 pouches, but definitely needed more by the end, just because it was getting to like 15-16 degrees at the end of the run. But I'm back home now. The plan is, I've just literally just sat down on the sofa just to relax and rest my legs for a little bit, but the plan is now to probably make myself a smoothie, let that settle in. I'm just going to whack some like banana protein powder. I've got some frozen raspberries, milk, water, I'm not sure what else I've got, maybe an apple or something like that. Just whack that in, and then I'll have some proper lunch. And I've just got, again, some chicken and rice and stuff left over, so I'll have that, or maybe like eggs on toast, whatever I fancy. So I hope that's helped you in terms of like nutrition and just seeing an insight into what I do leading up for my long runs. You know, on Sundays I do find that I'm quite hungry, but if I try and replenish with a good meal afterwards, then it kind of curbs the huge hunger cravings that I get later in the day. I'm going to make sure that I rehydrate a lot now, and I'm definitely going to get out the foam roller and do some stretching and like some like yoga moves later, because I didn't do that after my 16-mile run a couple of weeks ago, and I definitely paid for it on the Monday. But in total, I think we are over 40. I was on about 25 miles, I think. 25 miles after yesterday, so we are well into the 40 miles for the week, which is really good. And so I can say finally, after a long time, that this week has been a fairly good week. Wednesday's interval run didn't go to plan, but it's still executed at least like 3/4 of over half of the session at least. So that was good, and a good park run, fairly good park run yesterday, a good long run. And yes, we are going in the right direction. So let me know how you're all getting on. Thanks for all your comments on the last video about like sort of my health and what's been going on with that. So check it out if you haven't already. And I will see you all at the end of week 8.